Hey everybody, welcome back to Coatsy Plays, the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. And you know what? We do have to unlock stuff, right? So I'm just going to go for it with Azazel. Maybe a bit of an easy run here will make life gooder. And already life is gooder. Oh yeah! I like this. Alright, come here you, and we're gonna fool out of here. So, what's been going on? I didn't put up a video yesterday because, frankly, I was exhausted. Me and the girlfriend went to go see the play Vigilante here in the London Grand Theatre. Frickin' amazing play. It's about, now for those of you who don't know, in a place here, or around here, around London, there was a family named the Donnellys who got lynched way back in the 1800s. You know, I think pretty much every single student in an Ontario school has to do, you know, some reports or something on them in high school, or I'm not going to bomb through there when I could just get in there for free. In high school or public school, and it basically just goes on to tell you about this family who were kind of, I don't want to say good for nothings, but they weren't good folk, as the tales would have you believe, and they got lynched by a group of people that were never really caught. So we went and saw a play about maybe some of the backstory regarding, it sucked, regarding this particular family, and I gotta say, it was really good. It was well produced, it was well executed. I mean, they had the whole band right on stage there, a guitarist and a drummer and a fiddle player, which was near and dear to my heart. A whole bunch of other stuff as well. On screen at any one time, there were only about 10 actors, so depending on what the play and dialogue needed, these actors would be one character or another, or you know, like in the middle of a scene, they would just change into another actor another character, by, you know, changing their posture and their vernacular and how they would speak, the cadence of their speech. It was fantastic. If you can see a showing, it was called Vigilante. If you can see a showing wherever you are, I highly recommend it, even if you don't really know much about the source material. Why? We still don't know how much life we have. This is trash. Ooh, that's good though. Come here, you. Beautiful. We don't have Lucky Pennies unlocked. I have to do some greed mode, that's for sure. Yeah, and then, of course, I was exhausted because me and the wife had, like, all the alcohol. Actually, all of it. So, we went with my drummer, Neil, who's a good guy, and his wife, Crystal, who is a lovely lady. And I asked them to pick me up some booze, so I'll pay them back when I get there. And they said, how much would you like? And I said, I think a 60 of gin will do. They said, Chris, are you sure? Is it a 60 you be wanting? And I said, why, yes, of course it is. It was not. It was a 26er I was looking for. Certainly not a 60. That was way more alcohol than I think I was expecting. And of course, being a gamer, you don't see a bottle like that without taking it as a challenge. So we, of course, imbibed, oh my god, imbibed far too much. This is amazing. And didn't feel overly great the next day. And then for some reason, last night, you know, when I could have been recording, I didn't sleep well. I didn't feel great. I believe hungover is the term that is used by most of the kids nowadays. And we weren't feeling it. So I don't like the fact that we have no... Let's see. Okay, well, I want this, so we are going to... let's blow you up. I don't like that I don't know how much health we have, because that would... Okay, we're going to do this. That would tell me whether or not we're going to take a deal with the devil. Okay, well, we're getting there. We're getting there. You know, alcohol is a funny thing. It's one of those things where you'll imbibe, sometimes to excess, and you promise yourself you're never going to drink again, but you tend to, don't you? What is it about humanity that we prefer so much the feeling of how can I put this? The feeling of intoxication is so alluring to us that we will provide ourselves or put ourselves through pain just to kind of do it again and again and again, which I find kind of crazy. Yo, what? Well, we'll take the health. Those small rooms, they can screw you. Whatever. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're good. Oh, and we had tons of... Well, not tons. Not if we had taken a deal with the devil. Okay. And, yeah, so the play got me to thinking how people convey information. So the Donnellys were a family. It was 6 boys, a mother and a father, came over from Ireland. They had a farm. And the reason I tell you this is because, like I said, there were only about 10 people on stage at this play at any given time. And how is it that they could go in the middle of a scene, mind you? This wasn't like, oh, hey, let me go do a costume change and I'll be right back. This was like straight the middle of a scene. We're going to kind of get this done and hop back and forth between characters. Well, the way they did it was they used lighting. So if a character was in spotlight, they were generally... I don't want to say a good character because I feel like the play embellished just how heroic these characters were. I mean, it's a play, right? You're supposed to do that. So our protagonists, let's say that instead of heroes. But our protagonists were always in light. So during the infamous lynching scene, which was frankly kind of hard to watch, I'll be honest with you. If a brother was, you know, fighting for his glorious life, he was in spotlight. And then if they had to go and be one of the people who were lynching those brothers, the actors would end up being in shadow. And it was a very well done sort of way to put a whole scene together. It was fantastic. Oh god. I mean, I'd like to say we're gonna win this, but I've seen crazier things happen. I mean, Polyphemus, or rather, no, Proptosis, sorry, really does it for us, for sure. Let's see if we get money in here. So we got some more health. Ooh, maybe it'll be deals with the angel. That's great. And we don't have to worry about deals with the angel. Not coming our way. Even though we got a devil deal item. Perfect. Well, I mean, I guess those come in red chests. You can get them in devil deals, though. It's fine. I stick by what I said. And it kind of got me to thinking. The way we communicate ideas is sometimes pretty crazy. So this idea of light and shadow suddenly denoting the, for lack of a better term, allegiance of these actors in a particular film. And then, you know, you go on to body language and all the other ways that you can tell a story or communicate ideas from one person to another. And then it kind of got me to thinking, like, you know, ooh. I mean, we're gonna take that, so obviously. And let's fuck this guy up, why not? Okay. Well, that is a travesty. So these actors were just masters of their craft in terms of, you know, conveying impotence and anger or like a threatening demeanor. And so I was thinking, you know, when you're out on a job interview, how much of the ability for you to get hired comes from these tiny little things that we do? Slouching or not slouching. Ooh, yeah, I'll take this. Justice. Perfect. You know, I've read that when you're waiting for a job interview, you shouldn't be looking at your phone. Oh, this is great. Perfect. Because looking at your phone automatically puts you in a submissive position. Oh my god, we're so fast, dude. We're so fast. Well, not anymore. That gone done Christopher Reeves us there for a second. So yeah, you're really not supposed to. So the end. Really not supposed to be looking down at your phone. It puts you in a submissive position. But then if you try to assume kind of a power position, you know, something that would, oh god, something that, what is this? Rotten penny, wealth of flies. Okay, I'll take it. Something that would convey that you're confident. Is there a fine line between looking confident and looking cocky? Looking like kind of a shyster, you know? And frankly, I don't know. That's kind of why I'm asking. Alright, so we are going to do this. No bombs. Gotcha. We are looking for a shop. Item room. Oh, it's so good. You know what? We're taking chaos. Don't care. Ooh, and it gave us a bomb. We'll take another bomb. That broke anyway, so not terribly worried. I think we haven't gone this way. I don't think we've gone. Oh, we have been in here. Okay, I guess we're going to the boss. And you know, even how you talk to people. And you know what? I'm bad at this too. I'm a blunt guy, and sometimes that comes off as kind of dickish. For any of you listening that actually know me in real life, I apologize for that. Not something I tend to try and do on purpose. Okay, shrink that down. But even something as simple as like, oh hey, you know, something that you did here at work is incorrect. Or saying, hey, did you notice blah 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 blah, something happened, or even just phrasing it as a question. But that kind of brings up another point of like, I mean, do we really have to be so sensitive with people all the time? I mean, I get the idea that you don't want to make somebody feel like crap, but if somebody needs to be spoken to because of something, and you're, you know, at least not mean about it, what's the problem with being direct, at least? You know, ooh. Okay, well, we'll Hierophant now. I feel like the ability to address somebody directly without either that person taking offense or you feeling like you've hurt somebody's feelings or something like that has really kind of disappeared. You know, I've had my boss come in and, you know, at every job pretty much, because it's what a boss has to do, whether they like it or not. It's their damn job. And say, hey, listen, we've either had a complaint. Like, I was a teacher, I got complaints all the time, simply because people don't like failing. So when they fail, they like to blame whoever they can other than themselves. Like, well, the test was too hard. Was it too hard? Because like 85% of people got 90 and above, and you're the only one here complaining because you failed the test. But that's, I guess, beside the point. That was a whole lifetime ago. But I, you know, had to go and sit with the dean of students or the director of the college and kind of address, okay, well, why are people mad? And 9 times out of 10 it was like, well, because people don't like failure. And instead of understanding that, like, you get in what you, or you get out what you put in, i.e. you should study, first of all. You should not be talking and being on your phone during class, blah, blah, blah. You know, all that kind of regular school stuff. Instead of saying that to the student, or instead of the student coming to me and being like, hey, I don't like this grade, what happened? They would go to somebody else, because apparently that's a better solution? I don't know. Seems crazy to me. Ooh, Dad's key. Filigree feather. Okay, so we're unlocking some stuff here, which is nice. I'm gonna head on down. I apologize for always kind of coughing into this mic. You know, and even in relationships that are sort of interpersonal, sometimes, most fights I think anyway, at least most, you know, fights with my parents or with significant others, and I wouldn't say fights, because, like, nobody ever gets physical. Oh god, I walked right into that. But let's say disagreements arguments, whatever you want to call them, usually come from just a simple miscommunication. You know, sometimes they come from a genuine difference in opinion, which is also fine. But at that point, you got to kind of agree to disagree, right? Not everybody has to believe what you believe. Something else that people might need to kind of learn in their adulthood is like, yo, differences of opinion are kind of how the world goes around. So I taught in my negotiations class. This is a great example. Is that? Nope, that's not a great example. The idea that differences of opinion will often facilitate agreement. People are like, well, what do you mean? If you don't agree, how are you going to agree? Well, let me pose to you this lovely scenario. You make shoes, let's say. Congratulations, you're the finest shoemaker in all the land. Well, your shoes are on sale, or rather for sale. Yep. Do I get anything from you by killing you? Didn't think so. Your shoes are for sale for $50. Why? Because you would rather have the $50 than the shoes. You make shoes all the time, so for you, it is totally worth... What the hell is going on? It is totally worth giving up the shoes for $50. Well, somebody buying your shoes has the exact opposite viewpoint. To them, $50 is actually worth less than those shoes because they can't make their own shoes. You kind of see, something in the depths. See what I'm getting at? So you guys disagree fundamentally. Do we want to go for the guppy chance? Thinking we do it. It'll just take one heart, right? Yeah. So you guys fundamentally disagree on what's of more value, the $50 or the shoes. And it's that disagreement that will facilitate you guys making a deal, an economic deal. Now, obviously, this is a pretty simplistic viewpoint, but very often you'll find that in a negotiating scenario, the disagreement that you guys have, the opposing viewpoints, can actually facilitate some sort of deal on what you're kind of working towards. You know what I mean? Oh man, okay, I'm sorry, I'm concentrating a little bit here. But very often people see viewpoints that oppose their own, automatically assume that people are, you know, because you think differently than me, we're not going to get along. Well, that's a little bit obtuse, I think. Alright, oh, there we go. Okay, what's over here? Shoot. God damn it. Health up could be cool. Alright, where are you headed? You only popped one of these guys out, right? There we go. So yeah, the next time, maybe the next time somebody doesn't share the same opinion as you, go, well, you know what, this... First of all, that's fine. It's an educational tool, or an educational opportunity, you know? Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes people... it's a fine line, right? Because there are certain things that people shouldn't disagree on, and sometimes it's like, come on, man. Hey, we should probably educate kids in our society. If somebody doesn't believe that, you gotta wonder where the hell their head's at, you know? Okay, so our speed's maxed right out.
Speed up.
Paralysis. We'll get a full halo. And while everyone's entitled to their own opinion, I don't think every opinion has merit. That's a completely separate conversation. You know? And this, our society now has this idea that everyone has the right to free speech. Absolutely they do. But you don't have the right to be heard. Like, people have the right to tell you to take a hike because you're ridiculous. You know? Just because you're allowed to say whatever you want which I kind of wholeheartedly agree with, especially in terms of like why it was invented, the press and all that, not suppressing media and so on and so forth. Let's look for tinted rocks. Maybe we'll get small rock here. But at the same time, people conflate that with the idea that, hey, just because you're allowed to speak about whatever you wish, it doesn't mean you have to be heard. It doesn't mean that you have to force people to hear that opinion. People have the right to tell you that what you're saying is ridiculous. They have the right to tell you why you're wrong, because opinions are not facts. So if there's something that is demonstrably proven, like, and I'm going to say it, vaccines work. Jesus, that would... Wow. It's one long snake. The Earth is round. Just, space exists. We went to the moon. You know? All those things. Those are things that can be demonstrably proven. So when somebody's like, yeah, the Earth is flat and there's no space and the government's trying to come and get us for something, blah, blah, blah. In that case, it's like, well... I don't think so. But then that goes back to people don't have the right to be heard. Just ignore these people. Okay, balls of steel will keep. The Earth is flat. Yeah, so the sun is round, the moon is round, but the Earth is a disc. How does that make any sense? You know, and then there's another part to that where, like, some of these people might have, I mean, I think they've linked, and again, don't quote me on this, because I don't know for sure. Ooh, this is very good. I don't know for sure, but I imagine that there might be some sort of link between believing ridiculous conspiracy theories and some sort of paranoia or something, like... I can't understand why somebody would just believe that somebody's always out to get them, or that a government agency would be in cahoots with NASA to try and suppress a fake moon landing. Like, what does anybody have to gain from that? Not only that, but like Russia, France, Australia, they all picked up the same transmission from the moon, verified it. Like, these are not countries that are all about helping us out. So why would they in that case? You know what I mean? Like, if they could turn around and be like, oh yeah, no man, we know for sure that the moon landing was a hoax, right? That would validate so many people. It would undermine the US government, etc. But even they're not, like, don't get me wrong, Russia's kind of a mess, but even they're not crazy enough to start going on a tirade about the moon landing being fake. You know, and all it would take is one government being like, yeah, we know. You know, validating people's arguments. We're going up. We're going up, y'all. Begotten baby. It lives. Darkness falls. Suicide King, the family man. Blue Bomber, Pokemans! The basement is burning. Oh, the burning basement. I do hate me, the burning basement. Bad gas, my god. I don't know what it is, but every now and again, I get myself some bad gas. And when I say bad, I don't mean like, oh, little in... Okay, so this might... Can I get some more keys out of this? Might be going a little bit too far with the information, but I had some bad gas the night we went to that play, and it was not good. I'm just saying. Like, getting all bloaty and uncomfortable. It's just a mess. Okay, so we're gonna need keys for the next floor. Thank you. So I'm going to save my keys. Fortunately, those were not keys. Those are keys, though. We might do Mega Stand. I can't think of a terribly compelling reason why we wouldn't do Mega Stand. Shit. Well, I think this is going to unlock the Polaroid. Oops, why would you possibly do that? Trigger happy over here. Alright. Okay, we got more keys for our very first foray into the chest. Oh, this is exciting. Where do you think it would be? Right around here? Or right around here? Okay, so it's not there. It could be here. Oh, damn! There we go. We don't need that second one. So we've never even fought Blue Baby. Oh, that's over. Right, okay. Well, little anticlimactic. I was kind of hoping that we'd make it to Megastan. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to spay and neuter your kids and vaccinate your pets. I will. See you next time.